I love Aaron. He is so emotionally intelligent and such an authentic, caring guy. Aaron is pure scumbag, total asshole. He's so sweet, definitely a golden retriever. Textbook narcissist. Aaron is a girl's guy in the best way. Such a green flag. Yeah, I 100% revoke my opinion. In the summer of 2024, Love Island USA began its 6th season. And with it, fans were introduced to one of the most controversial and hated cast members in the show's history. How does a cast member so well liked, who was seen by so many as one of the most genuine and down-to-earth people on the show, leave the show as the season's biggest villain? And who's right? Today, I'll be covering the first half of Aaron's time on the show. His flip-flopping between being very warm and open and extremely cold and dismissive, his repeated attempts to guilt trip and punish his partner, planting seeds before he does infinitely worse things behind her back, and his 3-day-long cheating session that, once the truth comes out, leads to his partner saying this.
Why would you do that? Why do you keep fucking lying to me and quit love bombing me? I don't want anything to do with you. I never want to speak to you again. You're disgusting and you're a piece of fucking shit.
And trust me, we're only getting started. So let's get into it. Love Island US is a reality dating show where a bunch of sexy singles spend their summer together in a luxury villa with the hopes of surviving challenges, games, and eliminations in order to make it to the end, find their partner, and win a cash prize. And it's on the show where we meet the subject of today's video, Aaron. Originally born in Spain, but moving to England when he was 17, the sociable, adventure-loving, vegan, goofy Aaron currently works as a deckhand on a super yacht, but is also a reality TV veteran, making his television debut on a UK show called The Traitors, where he actually won the prize money, gave his winnings to his mum, allegedly, and is now back in America to find love.
I'm just trying to find that one person that I can just like bounce off of. It's like a best friend that you can also have sex with.
Now, I know what you're thinking. 6-foot-tall, chiseled jaw, earrings, British dude with a sexy accent that works as a deckhand on a super yacht, a profession and environment infamous for people that want to sleep around. Yeah, this guy's a total douchebag, right? I understand you'd think that, and honestly, that was my first impression of him too. But I have to point out, despite the stereotype, Aaron was extremely well liked on his appearance on The Traitors, being seen as a genuine nice guy with a very big heart. And it's these two perspectives of Aaron, obvious player douchebag and genuine nice guy, that we'll see battle for dominance throughout the season of the show. So Aaron is introduced. Similar to my last series on James from Love Island, the women are then given an opportunity to go be with their man. But unlike the last series with James, someone actually does fancy Aaron.
1, go!
That being a woman named Kayler, a 22-year-old psychology student pursuing a master's in autism behavior analysis, coming from a small town in Pennsylvania.
Let's camera action, baby.
But despite their apparent differences, Aaron and Kayler immediately hit it off. Aaron was super excited Kayler picked him. He apparently has a type of blonde-haired, blue-eyed women. He was scared to tell her that he's a vegan because he didn't know Americans knew what veganism was.
I might give you another ick right now. So I'm also like vegan. So
Nuh-uh.
yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
My best friend's vegan.
What the hell? I didn't think you got them over in America. I didn't think they existed.
And it turns out that, on the surface at least, they're kind of a match made in heaven. Kayler has a very silly, kind of 22-year-old bubbly personality, very cutesy and innocent, and surprisingly, again, despite Aaron's more stereotypically douchebag appearance, is just as much of a genuine lighthearted jokester as Kayler is, saying he already feels like a winner because he found Kayler.
I feel actually really happy right now.
Me too. You made me cry in tears of
I feel like I'm on top of the world right now. Like I would have been gutted if I would have been with anyone else. I would just feel like I'm winning. Like I already feel like a winner.
And Kayler saying the same thing.
Aaron and I definitely connect. We literally had the best conversations. I just can't imagine like a more perfect dude in here for me.
And from that moment on, if you can believe it, Aaron and Kayler become one of, if not the most, stable and well-liked couples for the next 20 episodes of the season until Aaron's fall from grace, where he then becomes the season's biggest villain. However, although they were well-liked, that doesn't mean Aaron was without controversy in the beginning. And it's important that we go over some of these controversies to better understand the context of just how nasty and hypocritical Aaron's fall from grace truly is.
Hello, James.
Hello?
Another video on an online weirdo, huh?
I mean, I guess. He's actually from a reality TV show, but...
No, not him. You.
Me?
You, James. Or should I say, Direwolf Alpha 69.
How do you know that name?
I know everything about you, Wolf. Your address, your contact information, your relatives.
Hey, you leave the wolf pack out of this, mister.
Or what? Are you gonna stop me, Mr. Direwolf? Huh?
Well, no. But the sponsor of today's video, Aura, will. Aura is a cybersecurity firm that protects your privacy and data by finding your information and removing it from these pesky data brokers. You see, data brokers like him are legally required to take down your personal information if you ask. But because that obviously makes them less money, they make it needlessly time-consuming, tedious, and frustrating to actually do so. That's why you need a friend like Aura, who does all the heavy lifting for you by removing your information and keeping it off. And while there are other services that can do this for you, Aura is really the one-stop shop here, coming with its own VPN, credit monitoring, password manager. I mean, look at the chart they sent me for talking points. You can get all of these cybersecurity features with just a single product. That's the kind of service I can get behind. That actually is a lot of features. So if you like the idea of taking back your data and privacy, then go to my sponsor, aura.com/JamesRush to get a 14-day free trial, and let Aura get to work scrubbing your info from these data brokers. And thank you, Aura, for the sponsor. Well, what do you think of that, huh? Not so tough now, are ya? Part 1. The Early Sins. The first crime Aaron is accused of committing is love bombing. Now, I'm going to talk about this more later in the video, where we see some of the most egregious and offensive examples of love bombing I've ever seen. But love bombing is something Aaron's been accused of doing since the very beginning of the season. For example, the next morning, not 24 hours after the two of them met, Aaron jokes with Kaylor, calling her his future wife, and flirts with her like this.
Baby.
Can I tell you a secret? Fancy you. I fancy you too.
This was just one example, and maybe it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, plenty of people found that kind of cringe. A 27-year-old guy flirting with his 22-year-old partner, like the two of them were in high school. But it does give you an idea of Aaron's personality, with some fans finding him very warm, open, and emotionally vulnerable, which we do see in a lot of heartwarming moments on the show, and others seeing this as early warning signs of someone emotionally abusive. His first actual bit of controversy came a few episodes into the season, where the cast have to play a game to get to know each other better. And of course, because this is kind of a raunchy dating show, a lot of these questions are around each other's number.
Do you think Janae's body count is higher or lower than Leah's?
Lower. I swear to God, she lied to me.
By the way, the show calls it their body count, but that term always creeps me out. It feels so objectifying and like you're collecting human corpses in your basement or something, so I'm using the term number. Anyway, Kaylor's number turns out to be 24. Kaylor gets the impression that Aaron didn't really like that. And while normally I would say if you're a more sexually conservative person or if that number doesn't align with your values, then I don't really care. You're entitled to your opinion, whatever. However, we then find out that Aaron's number is 75.
But in my defense, I was broken-hearted. I was just trying to mend my heart. So,
God.
Right, for sure, man. The only reason you're chasing so many women is because you're a sad boy and not a fuckboy. Even if that was true, so a man can sleep with 75 women to get over a heartbreak, but under no circumstances are women allowed to do the same thing?
And your number was 70. 70.
For reference, another question that was asked is how many sexual partners is too many for your partner to have? And Kaylor's answer to that was 70. So her number was 24. She's okay with her partner having up to 70. Aaron's number was 75. And his answer for how many bodies his partner is allowed to have was 10.
Oh, jump scare.
Now, in his defense, he does immediately clarify the double standard.
categorically, I don't ever ask questions like this. Like,
But is
I'm
it in
not
the
that
back of
bothered
your
about
mind,
it,
whether
so-
you ask it or not?
No, I wouldn't. I don't care.
Which at first pass sounds kind of ridiculous. I mean, why would you pick 10 right after you told the producers that you had 75? Surely you know that would come out and you'd look like a hypocrite. But then again, maybe that proves he actually did just make up a number? Because why the hell would you actually say that? I don't know.
He always questioning me and about my body count. Meanwhile, he's putting 10 and then he has what, over 70 bodies? So like that doesn't really make sense to me.
We see some more cute scenes with the two of them, with a similar kind of playful, flirty, kinda sorta love bombing vibe, where Aaron again refers to Kaylor as his future wife, and we see the two of them develop a secret handshake.
Give me all you can. How's it
But just when things were getting back on track, their first major hiccup comes later that day, where Kaylor kisses another cast member, Hakeem, during one of the challenges. Now, for the uninitiated, kissing challenges are a very frequent occurrence on the show, with some kind of game or challenging happening just about every other episode, and just about every single one of them involving some sort of kissing, whether that's someone you're coupled up with or someone at random. The cast members understand that it's just part of the show and it's basically just for content. And because of that, most cast members don't see kissing in challenges as a real thing or consider cheating. However, in this challenge, Kaylor had a choice in who she wanted to kiss. And despite being coupled up with Aaron and showing no previous interest in Hakeem, she chose Hakeem over Aaron. Aaron is understandably a little hurt about this situation, but instead of going to talk to Kaylor directly about it, he first complains to his friends that the next time a new girl walks in, he's going to pursue her immediately in order to make Kaylor jealous.
Do you know what? I'm gonna let her do her thing, right? But I also kind of just want to like start cracking over birds. Like I'm just gonna start putting the pressure on her.
Yeah, I feel like the first bombshell that come in and you feeling her, bro, just go straight for it.
Bro, I'm beelining.
All in.
Yeah. I'm beelining, boys.
Yeah.
100%.
Bro.
And while this seems like just a joke, well, you know where this is going. Meanwhile, Kaylor tells her friends that she thought this wasn't a big deal, believing that it was just a challenge and therefore doesn't mean anything.
No, it's a challenge. We're all here to have fun.
Exactly.
Explore. Who cares?
Yeah.
For what?
And she even tells her friends afterwards that if the roles were reversed, Aaron would absolutely be doing the same thing.
I'm sure he
Do
would have
like
done
that.
the same thing and he will do the
Yes.
same thing next challenge.
Now, as we'll find out later, Kaylor couldn't be more correct in her assessment of Aaron. However, Aaron doesn't think so, and pulls Kaylor for a chat later that night to talk about what happened. The two of them talk about it for at least 15 minutes on the show, really not going anywhere, where essentially, Kaylor tries making the argument that because it was in a challenge, she thought it didn't matter and therefore she did nothing wrong, where Aaron says if you're interested in somebody else on Love Island, then of course you're allowed to pursue them, but because you didn't tell me anything about this beforehand, and this came out of complete left field, I was pretty hurt by it.
So why did you do it? Exactly. It's just fucking weird. Like the whole thing's weird.
I was the first one to go. I looked at a name and I picked. It wasn't that deep.
Honestly, I don't think either of them are right or wrong here. It seems to me that they had two different ideas of what the expectation was around these challenges and hadn't discussed any boundaries around it, so not really her fault for doing something she thought was okay that accidentally hurt his feelings. But at the same time, it's not Aaron's fault that he got hurt seeing that, so don't really think anyone is inherently in the wrong here. That is, at least in the beginning. Because as the two of them discuss it more and Kaylor starts crying more and more, she eventually relents and apologizes. She's crying, saying how sorry she was, how the last thing she'd ever want to do is to make him upset, and she feels really guilty about it.
Yeah, I fucked up. Obviously I didn't figure that you would be this upset about me kissing another dude. And, like, I'm sorry that it made you feel the way it did, and I understand your feelings.
But despite her best efforts, Aaron isn't having any of it.
But then it's like, what, are you just going to kiss the third person, the fourth person, the fifth person, until you actually go, oh yeah, actually, you know what, fuck it, Aaron's a safe bet, I'll stick with him and I'll just keep kissing other people because he like lets me off. It's like bollocks, no.
A little bit of context there. A new guy entered the villa a few days ago named Connor, who was kind of interested in Kaylor, and they went out on a date and they ended up kissing a little bit. Aaron wasn't super happy with it, but he did recognize that this is early on, this is Love Island, you were supposed to explore connections. And because of that, although he wasn't happy about it, he did not give her the same kind of blame treatment he's doing now. But now he's saying, we've been in a couple, you already kissed Connor, now you kissed Hakeem. How many guys are you going to have to kiss before you accept that we're good together? And while crying, saying she's trying to make this right, Aaron just kind of gives up and walks away.
I don't know, I feel like we just keep going in circles, like I'm trying to explain the way I feel.
Yeah, I feel like just leave it.
Aaron goes to his best friend Rob to vent about the situation, while Kaylor cries to her best friend Liv, upset by the fact that this tiny little thing may result in the two of them breaking up, and is hurt by how easily Aaron seems to give up on the two of them.
He's like, yeah, I want to be like, basically, I want to be done with this. I feel like that's what he's saying. Like, just because, like, but that just speaks measures. Like, if you're that easy to fucking give up on this, and like,
It never really meant that much.
Which might sound like Kayla's exaggerating here, but she's actually right. Aaron really did act like the two of them would break up over this. And it wasn't just then either, because the two of them talk about it again later that night, after the two of them have had a chance to calm down a bit, and Aaron goes even harder. Kayla continues to apologize to Aaron, saying she never wanted to hurt him, she now understands she made a big mistake, that kind of thing. Aaron says he's really hurt because if the roles were reversed, he absolutely would not be kissing another woman. That's a good one, considering what's to come. But Aaron continues to not budge at all, and instead uses this opportunity to tell her that he needs to take a step back.
After today, I have come to the realization that I shouldn't just be closed off just for you. And then, like, if someone else does come in, then I do need to, like, speak to them and just, like, test it from, like, our end at least.
And if that wasn't enough, they talk about it again the next morning, where Aaron tells her straight up, I don't trust you that much anymore. We can't go back to what it used to be, and he won't forget about this.
Like, I'm happy just to, like, forgive and, like, put it behind us, but I don't know, like, in terms of, like, forgetting about it and just, like, obviously I was still a bit upset about the whole situation.
But the two of them kind of put it behind them. They do their secret handshake and they make up. Now, on the one hand, if this really did cross a boundary with Aaron and he really can't trust her anymore, then fine, I guess, that's his choice. But seeing Kayla cry over and over, repeatedly apologizing, saying she messed up, saying she didn't mean to hurt him, her remorse was pretty darn clear. Again, only he can decide if it's enough. But to hold it over her head like that, constantly escalating the severity, saying, I can't trust you, things are permanently ruined, I'll never forget this, it just kind of feels like he's milking her mistake for all it's worth. It kind of feels like he's trying to put her down in her place, so she has to repeatedly earn her way back into his good graces. And while that is a textbook narcissist thing to do, make the other person feel like complete, absolute worthless dog shit, and lord every single one of their perceived mistakes over them, so you can constantly maintain a sense of superiority and power over them, it's also a thing that insecure 15-year-olds will do, because if they can make the other person feel really bad and beneath you, then they'll feel like they're lucky to have you and will be less likely to leave you, at least is the logic. Now, some people think he's the narcissist. I don't know if I'd go that far personally, but regardless of his intentions, his actions are his actions. And this ends up being one of the most hypocritical fucking things you could possibly do if you're Aaron in a few episodes. But before we get there are a few more red flags we need to talk about. Part 2. Aaron's revenge. Yeah, so you remember when I said a few minutes ago that Aaron said he wanted to get back at Kayla by beelining to the first girl that walks through the villa doors? Well, later that same day, a new woman enters the villa, whom immediately eats Aaron's whole face off.
Oh, shit. Okay, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening.
Now, like I said earlier, that was a challenge environment, and Aaron was literally tied up. He wasn't really in a position to say no, so Kayla doesn't really hold this against him. The new girl, Andrea, then pulls Aaron for a chat, where the two of them go hang out themselves and do a bit of flirting. Kayla is obviously not really happy about that, but again, this is a very expected part of the show, being pulled for chats and entertaining new cast members, so Aaron technically hasn't done anything wrong here. However, after their little chat, Aaron goes to tell Kayla about it, and when Kayla asks how the date went, Aaron says this.
How was your convo?
It was actually good. I'm not going to lie to you. It was good.
Fuck, I hate this, but I mean, it's what we're here for.
She's actually a really good kisser.
Okay.
Bro, why? Yes, good on you for being honest and not leading her on, saying that you had a good conversation with another girl, like, okay, fine. But do you really need to tell her, while she's clearly upset, that the other girl is a good kisser? No, bro, there was no reason to say that. This was just a tit for tat, in my opinion. Him still being a little salty over Kayla's thing, so now he wants to lord it over her again and make her feel a little bad. And if you can believe it, that's not the only time that happens. Because the very next day, when Andrea officially asks him out on a date, because oftentimes new people are given the opportunity to go on like a special date outside of the villa with one or two people to test out a connection, when she chooses Aaron and Aaron gets a text inviting him out to this date, he immediately, in front of Kayla, acts like this.
Aaron, let's pick up where we left off. Come join me for my second date. XOXO Andrea.
Ugh, gross. I don't even mind him being excited, or all the boys rushing over and high-fiving him or whatever. It's a fun thing being invited on a date, and you get to escape the villa and do something unique and fun, but to do all that right in front of Kaylor is pretty insensitive. But what's even worse is that stupid face he makes at her. I mean, you can see, he's clearly turning to face Kaylor to bite his tongue and stick his tongue out at her. This dude really made two different faces to rub it in his partner's face that another girl who's a good kisser asked him out on a date. Can we just talk about the double standards here? Kaylor kisses a guy during a challenge for funsies, basically, that she has absolutely no interest in and profusely cries and apologizes about it afterwards, while Aaron does this.
Andrea.
If there was ever a single face of disrespect, this would be it. So Aaron goes on this date. It's a cute little picnic at a beach somewhere. The two of them end up making out, per Aaron's suggestion.
Have you ever kissed under the rain?
Honestly, no.
Do you want to do it first time?
And they end the date with Aaron telling Andrea that when it comes to meeting new women, his door is wide open.
So door's open.
Door's well open.
The door's wide open.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
And while you could certainly argue that the door should be open, they're not exclusive, they should be meeting other people, you can't tell me there's any good reason why Aaron should be saying this to Kaylor when he comes back from the date.
Yeah, I think you are two different people as well. And there's definitely things that, like, she is better at than you.
Like
1,000,000%. Like, I think she's very, like, level-headed and she's, like, very, like, I'm not going to say screwed on, but I think she knows what she wants.
So not only is this other woman a really good kisser, but she's also better than you at a bunch of things, such as being level-headed and having her head on straight. Oh my god. The level of disrespect. Why would you ever say that? Even if you thought that, like, why would you say that out loud and tell Kaylor that? What is the point of that? Other than to neg Kaylor, to bring her down, make her feel kind of bad, maybe even continuously punish her for her transgression against you earlier, and keep her beneath you so that maybe you can get away with more things in the future. And of course, the conversation ends with Kaylor crying again, feeling like she's always reassuring Aaron, but isn't getting that same kind of reassurance back.
Like, I don't know where you stand with me, how you feel. Like I feel like I'm always a broken record, like explaining to you how I feel all the time, but then I feel like I don't get it back.
Keep trying. Stay with me.
Now, I know all that looked pretty bad for Aaron, but I also have to remind you, I just covered 10 whole episodes of every bad thing Aaron said on screen. These are hour to hour and a half long episodes. That's a lot of content, and that's really all there is to talk about with the two of them. Every other scene that I didn't mention was actually the two of them being really good together, very cute and wholesome in a way that seems very genuine, and everyone in the villa believes that they're the strongest couple at this point. And in fact, by episode 12, it's not just the cast that think that too. America also thinks they're the strongest couple. You see, because the show is aired in mostly real time, with only a 1 or 2 day delay between filming, viewers at home are periodically asked to vote on who their favorite couple is, with the least favorite couples being up for elimination. This not only works to increase viewers' emotional investment in the show, but also because the only other way to get eliminated from the show is to be single during a recoupling, that could potentially leave open for people to make backroom deals and do some kind of political gaming to promise to stay together or have fake relationships in order to avoid elimination. So if America thinks you're full of shit or you're faking the relationship, they'll just vote you out. And by episode 12, with 7 couples to choose from, Aaron and Kaylor are the first couple chosen as America's favorite couple and are safe from elimination. Now, that's a little feather in their hat, I suppose, but what's really interesting about this ceremony is the next major hiccup with Aaron and Kaylor. You see, Aaron isn't just here to be with Kaylor. He's also here to support his new best friend named Rob. The two of them have formed a fast bromance in the villa, and anytime something bad happens with one of them, they immediately go to their other to talk about what happened and calm down. It's honestly a really sweet friendship that lasts throughout the whole season, and they're still friends to this day.
You're my best friend here. And like, I want to hang out with you as many opportunities as I can.
It's pretty cute seeing the two of them, and as another aside, I notice a lot of the guys in this season are very physically affectionate with each other. They're doing a lot of hugging, and even during times of great emotional distress, maybe when someone's crying, I've actually seen them give each other kisses on the cheek and hugs to support them. Which honestly, I just found very sweet and wholesome, and I'm glad we're seeing more men being allowed to express their emotions in a platonic, not weird way. So good on them, especially because they're like 7 muscly dudes on a show where they always take their shirt off and trying to get women, you know, so it's good to see. Anyway, Aaron is really here supporting his friend Rob. But unfortunately, Rob hasn't had the best luck with the women so far. And because of that, Rob and 2 other guys, as well as their 3 corresponding women, were in the bottom votes of America's Favorite Couple. And because this show is pretty manipulative and designed to make the cast members hate their experience at times, the 4 guys saved from elimination have to choose which guy they're sending home, and the girls have to choose which girl they're sending home. The guys begrudgingly decide to send Hakeem home, the man Kaylor kissed earlier, because he wasn't currently in a couple and it made the most sense. But unfortunately, the women chose to send Andrea home, the woman Aaron went on a date with a few episodes ago, and the woman currently in a couple with Aaron's best friend Rob. And this is what happened.
Andrea.
No.
Sorry, dude. I can't. No.
Please, bro, please.
No, buddy. Don't do this to me, man.
Bro, please.
Dude, I'm not. No. What the fuck, y'all?
Please, bro.
Dude, I love you so much. I will see you again.
This was seen as a major blunder, as the guys perceived Rob and Andrea to actually be one of the strongest couples in their short time together, while the women valued the other 2 women and their experiences over Andrea's. There was also a bit of controversy because some people theorize that one of the women that voted Andrea out had kind of a secret crush on Rob because she used to be partnered with him and was doing this kind of manipulation thing to get Andrea kicked out to get back together with Rob, and it was this whole thing. But for the first 20 episodes of the show, this was by far the biggest disaster of the season. And Aaron made sure to let the women know about it.
Why would you guys go for Andrea?
Is it she got the strongest connection in here? Is it she Love Island? You come in here for
they're all
connection.
here to find love.
So if I was up there, would you kick me and Caleb right there because of that? This is stupid.
We didn't want to do this. We didn't want to send any of them home. You can't yell at us for that shit.
So dumb, fuck's sake.
Man, I wish I could show you this entire scene, but I'm gonna get copyrighted. Because it is so dramatic and heavy and oh my god. But as you can see, Aaron, in his desire to defend his friend Rob, goes pretty nuclear on all the women and their stupid decision. And while Aaron did pretty much immediately apologize to the women afterwards,
I feel bad. I'm sorry if I did. Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for shouting because I don't like it when I shout.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
So I just want to say sorry.
which was good on him to do, and we do see a lot of these more positive moments from Aaron throughout the show. A lot of fans believe that this is the first time we're seeing the real Aaron. Not the fake nice guy act that he puts on for show, but the angry, playboy, 75 women, deckhand on a super yacht kind of Aaron. Personally, I don't know if I'd go that far in my assessment of Aaron. I do believe that between love bombing Kaylor, jumping the gun with Andrea, and here with scolding the women, it's Aaron's pattern of emotional impulsivity that I think is the greatest red flag of what happens next. Part 3. Love in Paradise. Things start getting weird between the two of them around episode 18, when, before the big twist of the season, Aaron pulls Kaylor aside to try to talk about his feelings. Aaron tells her he's better at expressing his feelings and actually kind of ass when it comes to directly communicating them, and kinda sorta tries telling her how he feels about her by saying this.
I just felt like there were times, and I'm not gonna say the L words, but there were times where I was just like, I L this about you, and I L this about you, and it felt like really scary even thinking that thought process at the time, and that was difficult, and my heartbeat's going like fucking crazy right now.
Kaylor responds by agreeing and saying she has love for Aaron and that she loves him as a person, and Aaron says this.
I know that I will end up that for you, as long as you don't...
No, same.
And as long as on the way, nothing bad. I don't really know what I'm trying to say right now. It's like super difficult.
So what you're saying is like you can see yourself like falling in love with me.
Yeah, basically.
Well, we got a big step here, huh? After all this time together, they're almost, maybe sorta, kinda falling in L with each other soon, hopefully. Personally, I would find it a bit annoying being with someone that has to beat around the bush like this. Like, if you love me, then just say you love me. But if you're not there yet or you're not ready, then just don't say it to me. I feel like that's kind of a having your cake and eating it too situation, where you're trying to make the relationship more close and intimate as if you're in love without having all the emotions and commitments that would come along with it. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. Anyway, the two of them are happy. Kaylor tells her friend Liv about it, and later that day, they talk about it again. Kaylor opens up the conversation with Aaron by saying this.
I could see you like being my boyfriend.
Aaron tells Kaylor that that's a good expectation to have, essentially agreeing that soon we will be boyfriend-girlfriend, and with what looks like a very hesitant face, says this.
I can't see anyone coming in and taking us, but then just don't be kissing people at challenges.
Kaylor reassures him that she won't be kissing anyone in a challenge or outside of a challenge, and the two of them agree if either of them would do that, they would both freak out.
Freak out.
I'll freak out. Even if I see you snuggling with someone in the bed, I'm gonna freak out.
Okay, great. That's where the two of them are at. They're thinking about the L word soon, being boyfriend-girlfriend, and even though they're not literally boyfriend-girlfriend now, they both think nobody else could get in the way of their relationship, and they're not interested in kissing other people and would get mad if their partner kissed someone else. That kind of sounds like being exclusive to me, but okay, whatever, you get the point. They're very committed to each other. Later that night, the two of them are voted again as one of America's favorite couples, further solidifying their relationship. Everything's looking good between the two of them. Until right after Kaylor tells the girls that they're talking about the L word, and as Aaron is telling the guys that he thinks he's falling for her, the boys get a text.
Boys, you're going on a mini break. Get ready to leave the villa and don't tell the girls. Boy, oh boy, Casa Amor.
The boys are going to Casa Amor. Part 4. Cheating in Paradise. Remember when I said earlier that Love Island is full of twists and challenges? Well, Casa Amor, literally translating to House Love, is by far the biggest twist in the show. Where all the current islanders are split apart from their existing relationships, the women stay in the villa, the guys all go to a new luxury villa near the first one, and both groups are introduced to a brand new group of sexy singles. The 6 guys will meet 6 new women, the 6 women will meet 6 new guys. They'll spend the next 3 or 4 days together without any communication from the other villa, and when the Casa Amor experiment ends, each islander will be given the choice to either remain loyal to their original partner or couple up with their new love interest and bring them back to the original villa. They say this is all about testing the strength of your connections and seeing if there's something better out there, but we all know what this is really for. They're just putting people in an uncomfortable and unrealistic scenario to maximize the chance that people cheat, lie, or do some other kind of nefarious action that makes for good TV. And of course, it works every time. So the boys get this text to go to Casa Amor. However, they're all given a choice. They can choose to go to Casa Amor and meet these new women, or they can opt to stay in the villa and be with their partner. Of these 6 boys, 3 of them are currently either single or not really in the best relationship right now, and so it's an easy decision for them. They jump out immediately, grab their stuff, and beeline straight to the villa. However, the 3 remaining guys are in pretty established relationships, and they all have to discuss over whether they should go or stay. We get various excuses from the 3 guys, framing it like Casa is the final test to see how strong the relationship is, with Aaron in particular saying this.
I really like her, obviously. I feel like it will do one or two things. It's either going to make us stronger or it's just going to make us a baby.
It's simple as that, man.
And in particular, Aaron and this guy Cordell, which, fun fact, Cordell is actually Odell Beckham Jr.'s little brother. And if you don't know who that is, he's the football guy who made this catch, who's like super famous and legendary or something. I don't watch football. But the two of them agree that they will go to Casa Amor, but they'll set boundaries. As in, they will only be sleeping outside the villa and not be sharing a bed with one of these new women, and they will definitely not be smooching anyone there. And after making that Faustian pact, the 3 guys excitedly pack their bags and leave the villa without telling the girls, because they're not allowed to. So all the guys leave. The girls, wondering where the hell all the guys went, are then told by host Ariana Maddox who, if you don't know, is the same Ariana from Vanderpump Rules, that other big drama show where the lead guy, Tom Sandoval, cheated on her publicly, and it was like this huge outcry that you may have seen on the internet like a year or two ago. It's kind of like the biggest deal in the world, and a lot of those Vanderpump fans ended up watching this season of Love Island because Ariana is now the host. So the fan base got completely flooded with a bunch of apparently really toxic Vanderpump fans on TikTok and all that. So a little bit of backstory there. Anyway, the host Ariana tells the girls that the boys are all at Casa Amor and tells them that the boys all had a choice. And Kaylor in particular is pretty hurt.
I mean, like, it's only fair, so, like, I can't, like, to be selfish. So, yeah. If it happens, it happens. We'll see.
She cries, tries to be understanding, but ultimately believes that if the roles were reversed, she wouldn't have gone to Casa and would have chosen to stay with Aaron. Meanwhile, at Casa Amor, we see Aaron make even more justifications for why he decided to go.
I don't feel like we got properly tested. It's very hard to get to know other people when you really like someone when they're right there.
So
However,
hard.
here,
Facts.
no one's here. But we can almost put 100% into someone without feeling guilty about the other person.
And although he does say he expects to feel very guilty in this process, he thinks it would be an injustice to himself to not see this through. And I'm sorry, but that's stupid. I don't even necessarily have a problem with him going to Casa. If he just wants to go hang out with his friends, see what the new villa is like, get some more screen time and have some fun, like, okay, especially if he's going to have these boundaries around not pursuing other women. Even him saying he owes it to himself to give all the women a fair chance, I don't even have a problem with that. My problem is that if you're at the stage in your relationship where you need to try everyone out to test your commitment level, then don't fucking tell Kaylor the day before that you're falling in love with her and that you'd get mad if she kissed anyone else. But hey, this is all talk so far. Aaron hasn't actually done anything wrong yet. Yes, the new girls are here, and among them is 22-year-old Puerto Rican student, Daniela. Daniela catches Aaron's eye, the two of them have a chat, they bond over their love of Spanish. Daniela tells Aaron that her family moved to Florida after her mother passed away when she was 10. And in response, Aaron says this.
That's crazy. That must have like developed your character like so much.
Fuck, stop. I will start crying.
That's crazy. Fair play to you, bro.
I love that so much for you. I already feel like I love you so much. Like genuinely, that's so crazy.
And I really like this clip from Aaron, because in basically the same sentence, we see his ability to be empathetic, compassionate, and emotionally vulnerable, while at the same time adding in unnecessary love bombing stuff. It's weird that he has the emotional intelligence to say something so understanding of Daniela, but then also not be aware, or perhaps is only too aware, that immediately telling someone that you already love them is love bombing.
Daniela's really, really nice. She's really, really sweet. She's super like kind-hearted. So loads of tick boxes.
Later that day, the two villas have to play another challenge that involves a lot of kissing. Of course, this time involving kissing a bunch of strangers. And while both Aaron and Kaylor did kiss other people in the challenge, Aaron obviously with Daniela and Kaylor with some other guy, how the two of them reacted to their kisses couldn't be more different. You see, despite how bad Kaylor felt that Aaron went to Casa, she decided she was going to try to approach the situation with an open mind. However, despite her best efforts, Kaylor just isn't feeling it. The new guys are nice and all, but no one can replace her partner. You know, the guy who just told her yesterday that he's falling for her and maybe in love with her soon. And even though the kiss took place during a challenge, Kaylor feels pretty guilty about it.
I'm feeling like really guilty, and I'm just like thinking of like his feelings and how he would feel about that. I don't know, like I don't think Aaron's doing the same thing.
While Aaron, on the other hand, pulls Daniela for another chat and jokes with her about how much he loved their kiss.
You're a really good kisser. Yeah.
Me?
You're like this is so fucking.
And while Aaron is clearly conflicted,
I think that was my favorite kiss.
Stop.
Okay,
That just makes my whole situation a lot more difficult.
he's not so conflicted that he can't share a familiar secret handshake with her.
This situation wasn't what it was right now. I'd probably kiss you, but this has to be respectful. So, look it.
Aw, man, not the handshake. Talk with her, flirt with her, fine, but is nothing sacred, Aaron? And as the night ends, we see Kaylor and her friend Serena from earlier decide to sleep outside for the night so they don't have to share a bed with one of the new guys, while Aaron, the guy who promised earlier that he was also going to sleep outside and not with a girl tonight, immediately goes back on his decision and decides to share the bed with Daniela, albeit with clothes on. Although they definitely are getting cuddling. We hear back from everyone the following morning, with Kaylor standing by her decision to sleep outside, despite all the mosquitoes, while Aaron and Daniela are very happy with all of their cuddling and kissing all over time last night. Don't know exactly what that means, but things between the two of them get a little bit more clear when they have another conversation later that day. We see the two of them very cuddled up together in what I would say is a very cute, somewhat intimate way. They're rubbing all over each other. Aaron keeps rubbing her feet and spreading her toes and shit. I don't know what this guy is with feet. I feel like in every scene I see him, he's either playing with someone else's feet or his own. But, you do you, I guess. They flirt about how much they like each other, but they don't want to be bad, even if the two of them kind of want it.
I could bite you right now.
I bite back.
Yes, do it. Kind of like it.
I do too. I don't mind a little nibble or smack.
Daniela, no, no.
When Daniela says we'll never know how much we like kissing each other until we try it, well, this happens.
Oh. Okay, relax.
Right now I can't stand up so.
Yeah. I'm sure with all the alluding I've done, and you can read the title of the video, you know where this is going. This probably doesn't come as much of a surprise to you, but I can't reiterate enough how no one expected Aaron to be the guy to do this. Not only did the two of them just say they'd get really mad if the other person kissed anyone else, but while Kaylor was upset last night before she slept outside, her friend Serena told her straight up that of all the guys in the villa, Aaron would be the least likely to kiss anyone out of a challenge.
I don't think that man's gonna kiss one time out of a challenge. Like,
You don't think he'll kiss someone out?
Nope. That man cares about your ass a lot.
And unfortunately for Kaylor, he doesn't stop there. Later on, the Villas participates in another challenge, which, you guessed it, involves a lot of kissing. And while perhaps the act of Aaron and Daniela kissing in a challenge isn't the worst thing in the world, I'm not sure if picking her up, taking her to the shower, and aggressively making out with her against the wall was completely necessary. I'm 100% certain that making out with her again right afterwards wasn't necessary. And I sure as hell don't think he had to tell her this after the challenge ended.
Honestly, that was probably my favorite moment in the whole time I've been here.
And while Kaylor and Serena spend another night outside, Aaron is yet again very happy to spend the whole night kissing and cuddling Daniela. Now, one thing I should mention before we go on is that as clearly head over heels Aaron seems when he's around Daniela, whenever we see Aaron without her and he's hanging with the guys, he seems extremely remorseful and guilty.
I feel really guilty, so I feel like shit.
Don't do something stupid, because Kaylor will get crushed.
Yeah, I don't want to break her heart.
I feel like good on one side, but I also feel very guilty on the other side.
Now, some people make the argument that the two of them did technically agree that they were not closed off yet. Kaylor's trying to pursue people as well, even though that's going much more horribly.
I miss my best friend so much. It really sucks, Serena.
And even earlier, before Aaron had actually made out with Daniela, he was confused by his guilt because he felt like he hadn't done anything technically wrong. And while all of those arguments may be right technically, infidelity and cheating comes in lots of different forms. Yes, what Aaron is doing here may not technically, by the absolute letter of the law, be cheating, but if the two of them say that they're falling in love with each other, that they will be BFGF soon, that they can't imagine anyone getting in the way between the two of them, that they'd be really mad if they kiss someone out of a challenge, you're communicating to the person in every way except directly that you're exclusive. It's the equivalent of saying, oh yeah, I'm super into you, I love you so much, we're perfect for each other, we're gonna die in each other's arms, I'm never gonna see anybody else. Well, technically we're still open, but oh my god, I love you so much, like nothing can get in the way. Just because you left that tiny little caveat there doesn't actually excuse what you've done and make it all okay. And by the way, if you're one of the people that think I'm being some weenie here or something, then you don't have to take my word for it. Maybe you could just listen to what Aaron said 15 episodes ago when he was mad at Kaylor for kissing Hakeem during a challenge.
But then it's like, what, you're just gonna kiss the third person, the fourth person, the fifth person, until you actually go, oh yeah, actually, you know what, fuck it, Aaron's a safe bet, I'll stick with him and I'll just keep kissing other people because he like lets me off. It's like bollocks, no.
They weren't exclusive back then. Of course they weren't. They had just met, and yet Aaron made the argument that although we are technically open and allowed to explore connections, what you did morally was still wrong. It still hurt my feelings. You still didn't communicate about it. I felt backstabbed even though we weren't exclusive. And if Aaron got that mad on day 4 of the show, then he can't turn around 3 weeks later after all that love shit with Kaylor saying he's done nothing wrong, he's just exploring a new connection. And I think that's why he feels guilty, because there's a cognitive dissonance between what he's saying, justifying his actions, and what he actually believes. Now, at this point, things are already pretty dicey between Aaron and Kaylor, but things suddenly get 1,000 times worse when Kaylor gets texted a video from the producers of Aaron cheating on her with Daniela.
Girls, you've been sent a story from Casa Amor.
He ain't holding back, bro. And I love it, bro. That boy is like, this is not Kaylor.
No.
I'm trying to relax. That boy is getting nasty. Holy shit.
Kaylor's been out here sleeping outside with the mosquitoes, trying her best to participate in the games, but just not feeling it, just missing her partner, thinking about how he would feel if she even kissed a guy in a challenge, feeling guilty and crying. And she just got a video of her man snuggling up, rubbing this bitch's feet, making out with her, while his friend basically cheers them on. By the way, if you ever wanted reason to believe that some shows may be less fake and scripted than others, well, who needs to go through the effort of hiring a bunch of actors and writing storylines and making sure nobody reveals the truth after they leave, when you can design an environment so maximally manipulative, separating the couples, bringing in people with an incentive structure to try to poach your person away from their partner so that they can get on the show, isolating them, and then when someone cheats, the producers clap and go, "Oh yes, now let's send it to her." They did not send this video for her own well-being just so she knows. No, this was to maximally stir the pot and ruffle as many feathers as possible. But while Kaylor spent basically the entire rest of the evening and the next day crying, Aaron's actually come to the realization that although he likes Daniela as a person, he's still thinking of Kaylor and decides to break it off with Daniela. He tells his friend Rob about this and again tries saying that he didn't do anything wrong and is confused why he feels bad.
I do feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad.
You shouldn't. You've done nothing wrong.
Yes, Aaron, you should feel bad. You did do something wrong. It wasn't exploring the connection or talking to someone new. It was misrepresenting and lying about your situation with Kaylor and acting in a way that would break her heart. You have a conscience for a reason, and I think it would do Aaron some good if he actually tried listening to it more instead of trying to explain it away. But he pulls Daniela for a chat, breaks things off with her, and actually recommends that she go talk to his buddy Rob instead. The conversation goes fine, and the two of them end their little fling pretty amicably. Aaron accepts that Kaylor's going to be really hurt, but acknowledges that he's got to come clean, he's got to tell the truth, if he has any hope of her taking him back.
Felt like I shouldn't have been doing it, but I was like, I kind of know I should do it just for the sake of the process. Like, I've done it, so I just need to back it and just tell her the truth, and that's it.
And then we get the most dramatic recoupling of the season, where the Casa boys return back to the original villa, and where Aaron goes from a nice guy that messed up to the season's biggest villain. Part 5. The villain arc begins. Now, before we get into it, this recoupling is a little bit different. The recoupling begins with the 6 original women of the villa choosing between 3 different options. They can either A, couple up with one of the new boys, in which the 2 of them become a couple and good for them. They can choose to remain loyal to their original partner, in which case the original guy then enters the villa, and the cast collectively find out if he's coming back alone, indicating he's also choosing the original partner, or if he comes back with one of the new women, which would mean that they're the new couple, and the girl, the choice to remain loyal, would then suddenly be single and up for elimination, or in a bit of a twist, they can choose to voluntarily remain single. So it's either pick a new guy, pick the old guy, and hope that the old guy also picked you, or pick nobody. That makes sense? And after a few rounds, it's Kaylor's turn to choose. She stands up, tells everyone that she really likes Aaron, that she thought he was the one for her and they were gonna make it outside of the show and be a real couple. But after she got sent that video, she can't trust him anymore, and so chooses to remain single.
From what I saw, I'm not going to stay loyal to Aaron because he wasn't loyal to me on his journey at Casa.
And after Kaylor announces her decision, we then learn Aaron's decision, as he emerges from the villa doors by himself, signaling that he chose to remain loyal to Kaylor. However, his reveal is not what you'd expect.
Oh shit.
No idea. It doesn't know. It doesn't know.
Shit.
I can't stop wondering why.
Now, you'd think from this reaction here that Aaron is aware that he messed up and is planning to take the route of honesty. Remember, he has no idea Kayla was sent a video, so he has no reason to be acting this obviously guilty unless he himself felt guilty about what he did. So clearly, based off his guilt and what he said earlier about having to come clean with Kayla, clearly he's going to take the route of honesty here. Right? Well, not exactly. Because when Kayla confronts him and tells him that she was sent a video about what he's been doing in Casa, this is how he responds.
I've had a video sent to me from Casa, so maybe go ahead first.
I think it would be better to explain after.
I mean, I got all the time in the world.
What? You say you're gonna be honest? Walk out all nervous, swearing under your breath, saying Casa was okay? But as soon as you're confronted, you act like nothing's wrong and you couldn't care less? I mean, just look at his face here. The coldness in his voice, the playing with his hands' body language, and the faces he's making. It's all so incredibly dismissive. She explains what she saw in the video, how hurt she was, she calls out his friends who were cheering it on, all while she's sleeping outside with mosquitoes wishing he was back, and Aaron doesn't budge at all.
I mean, explain me like what you've seen first and then we can go from there.
What I saw? Tell me, what do you think I saw, Aaron?
I don't know what you've seen, so...
What did I do? Well, what have you seen? You're not fooling anyone here, man. We all know what you're doing. You're going fishing in an attempt to find out just how much of the bad thing they already know about, so you don't have to be completely honest and tell them the whole thing. You can just agree with whatever they said and leave it at that. If Aaron had any intention to be honest here, he wouldn't have responded like that, which completely spits in the face of everything we saw him say previously about how he felt guilty and remorseful and he wanted to tell Kayla the truth immediately. Well, now that he's confronted with it, that all goes completely out the window. And unfortunately, it's only now, after the cheating, that Aaron's villain arc really starts. You see, Aaron may have cheated or fooled around while he was at Casa Amor. However, he wasn't the only one. Several guys did, arguably more egregiously than he did, but they're not at the top for season 6 biggest villains. Aaron's at the top, and it's not because of the cheating, it's because of everything that happens afterwards. We're talking the full emotional manipulation spectrum, where Aaron goes full Darvo, denying, attacking, and reversing the victim and the offender. We see extreme dismissiveness, avoidance, emotional stonewalling, and love bombing. And the biggest revelation of all that only comes after the show during the reunion, where once it comes out, Kayla says this.
Why would you do that? Why do you keep fucking lying to me and quit love bombing me? I don't want anything to do with you. I never want to speak to you again. You're disgusting. You're disgusting and you're a piece of fucking shit.
You don't get a reaction like that just because you mess up in Casa. No, you get that response after, according to some people, including Kayla, an entire summer of manipulation and emotional abuse that left her completely beaten down.
I walked into the villa being so confident and you beat me down, and I left a different fucking girl. It's not cool and it's not fun.
Now, before I go, I do have to say that although pretty much everyone agrees that the cheating was bad and it was his reaction afterwards that was much worse, as I alluded to earlier, there is a contingent of people that believe that Aaron's hate online was a bit of an overreaction, partially due to the fact that Aaron came off so genuine, real, and relatable throughout the show that when it seems like he finally did this turn on Kayla, a lot of people felt very personally betrayed from people in their own lives that also acted in a similar nice way until ultimately abusing them. And while I think it's completely understandable to have that kind of reaction, and Aaron may indeed be just as much of a piece of shit in real life as these people believe, he also may not be. And we've already seen several examples of the show going out of their way to create a manipulative environment to get people to act in the most unorthodox and toxic ways at times that goes against their character outside of the show. So for however much hate you think he deserves, if you think it's overblown or you think it's not enough, I want to remind everybody to A, not send any hate brigades his way. If you have negative comments, then please keep it to this comment section and don't go sending it his way. But also, the reason I'm making these videos is to watch these TV shows, analyze the relationships, and learn from these relationship dynamics in an entertaining way to hopefully better understand ourselves and others and enrich our own emotional lives. And I hope that message comes across in these videos. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. A big thank you to all of your channel members, and if you'd like to see these videos early as soon as I'm done with them, then you too can become a channel member by hitting the join button below. Make sure to comment, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff, and until next time, I'll see you later. These neighbors are definitely getting coal in their stockings from me this year.